Hey YouTube, Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard Drajeweled deck profile for post-flight of Chakrabarthi. We got the new Grade 4 Drajeweled Dragon, being a new lineup for all of the Grade 4 decks. This definitely does offer a lot of pressure for this deck, I would say more than the mask version of Drajewel to begin with, but still having the same setup of needing the different grades in your soul to activate your card abilities, so along with the newer support that we got from set 13 for the deck. Big thanks to my buddy Jim for letting me borrow his deck for the deck profile. So let's go ahead and get started. So we'll go ahead and start off with the ride deck. Our starter is Julius Dracokid. When wrote upon, if you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Jewel Card Dracokid. When wrote upon by Demonic Stone Dragon, Jewel Need, you can call this card to the rear guard, with our grade 2 being Demonic Stone Dragon, Jewel Kneel. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you can soul charge 1, and when it's wrote upon with a unit with Drajeweled and its card name, soul charge 1, and if your soul has 3 or more cards with different grades, draw a card. So having more setup, needing all of the other cards in your soul, having the other grades to begin with, but also that additional setup for any of the other cards we may use in the deck, and the 1 copy of Demonic Jewel Dragon Drajeweled, the grade 3 that has the initial Counterblast 1, Soul Charge 2, and if all the cards Soul Charge have different grades, draw a card, and when it attacks a Vanguard, Soul Blast 4 cards with different grades, and choose one of your opponent's Vanguards till the end of this turn, increase or decrease its power to 1. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, it gets critical +1 as well. Added extra pressure to go up against your opponent's Vanguard, now at the 1 of power, but the main play goes into riding into our new grade 4, which is the Demonic Jewel True Dragon Drajeweled Ignis. It can only be ridden from a unit with Drajeweled and its card name. The beginning of your battle phase, choose 2 cards from your drop, put them into your soul. If your soul has 4 or more cards with different grades, all your front row gets +15 till end of turn. And while you're paying the cost for this card's ability, you may also soul blast cards with Drajeweled in their card name for their soul has many grades from 0 to 4. When this unit attacks, soul blast 5 cards with different grades. Retire all of your opponent's back row rear guards till end of turn. This unit gets critical +1 and increase or decrease the power of your opponent's front row units to 0. So the fact that it goes to 0 means that your opponent has to guard with especially more numbers compared to 1. It can matter depending on the amount they are guarding with, if that 1 additional number comes up, but still having the additional critical and making it so it's all of your opponent's front row rear guards means that even if they get a trigger for their Vanguard, you have the additional +15 with your other units, and then the potential rear guards to wipe out as well if you can't hit your opponent's Vanguard. For the grade 3s in the deck, we're just running 4 copies of the new Soul Funeral Dragon Nocturcio. When it's placed on rear guard or put on the guard circle, choose up to 1 grade 4 card from your hand, reveal it, and if you put the revealed card or Vanguard is grade 4, perform one of the followings according to the circle is put on. If it's on rear guard, draw a card, choose 2 cards from your drop, put them into the soul. So perfect setup since we do have a grade 4 Vanguard to rely on. And also, with this card on the guard circle, it gets +15 till end of battle, which is what all it would apply for in this deck. Otherwise, it has a stride ability for draw power when discarded, but we're just using it for the initial setup for our Vanguard to put more cards into our soul using this card as well. And also the 4 copies of Demonic Stone Dragon Rakagor on rear guard once per turn. When the unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if your soul has 4 or more cards of different grades, it gets +10,000 power to end of turn. So added pressure on top of the +15 that your Vanguard can provide to this card. And on rear guard, when you soul blast 4 more cards at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1 and stand this unit. So you really don't have much of a counterblast to rely on with your new grade 4 Drajeweled. So you can save all of them for your grade 2 restand to have the multiple attacks, especially since your grade 4 Drajeweled is also giving power to this rear guard to begin with to then have the additional attacks as well. And also the 4 copies of Soul Severing Demonic Spear Knight Zagan. When this unit is placed on rear guard during your main phase, you may soul charge 1 and choose up to 1 grade 4 card from your hand, reveal it. If you revealed a card, or if you have a grade 4 or greater Vanguard with Drajeweled in its card name, choose up to 1 card from your soul with a different card name from this unit and grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, call it to rear guard. At the start of the end phase, put that card in the soul. Just giving you more resources to extend out your plays thanks to this card, since you can call out another unit if need be. And if you have a Vanguard with Drajeweled in its card name, this unit also gives boost. You can have the added power to the other rear guards you may want to attack or have to use this card as a boost, but still having all of the setup that it could have provided before. And then for the rest of the grade 2s, 2 copies of the new Servant Falcratia. Now, this is a promo card, so a little more, difficult to get a hold of. If you wanted to run this card, you can leave it as is. If not, you can replace the 2 copies I'm running of this card in the deck with the next card that I have in the lineup. But with this card, when it attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, choose up to 1 Dark States from your drop, and this unit gets +5 till end of that battle for each grade of that card. Put that chosen card into Soul, and at the rear guard at the end of the turn, if you have a grade 4 greater Vanguard, put this unit in the Soul to draw a card. Setting up more grade 2s, but also giving you, that setup for needing the 5 different grades for your grade 4 Drajeweled to use if you don't have the Drajeweled unit to go into. But then you also have the setup of just being able to ride into the grade 4 versions of your other Drajeweled as well. If you don't have this promo, you can always increase the number of Horde/Draco Kid to 4 copies, which I have 2 in here now for the grade 1s. When placed on rear, count +1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 4 card with Drajeweled and its card name, reveal it, put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck. If you did not reveal a card, choose 1 grade 4 card from your hand, reveal it. If you revealed a card from your hand, have a grade 4 greater Vanguard with Drajeweled, draw a card. So at least giving you a draw power option for the Counterblast if you already have the grade 4 set up and ready to go as well. With this card, with just additional search power, if you don't have your initial Falcratias to run, like I said, you can put 2 more copies of this just to have an easier way to search out the Drajeweled grade 4 also. And then also the 2 copies of Falcate Performer. More setup when it boosts, choosing a card from your drop. If your Soul does not have that card with the same grade, putting into the Soul. So a great way to recycle some of our grade 3s that we may Soul Blast as well from the Soul already. And also the 4 copies of the new Wise Demonic Lordling, Varpuja. When you Soul Blast 4 more cards at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability, put this unit into the Soul, draw a card, then choose up to 1 grade 4 card from your hand, reveal it. If you revealed a card or have a grade 4 greater Vanguard with Drajeweled and its card name, choose 1 of your rear guards, and if your rear guard did not stand by a card's ability this turn, stand it. So this helps to work with Rockagore having the restand power as well to restand other rear guards, making it a definite 4 of, just because then you're going off of the actual play of Drajewel and what it does initially, to then rely on that play to also restand other cards for multiple attacks against your opponents at 0 power Vanguard. And then for the rest of the grade 1 lineup, the Sentinels, so the 3 copies of Repelled Malice Dragon and the 1 copy of Elementaria Sanctitude to go up against the other combated triple drive decks, since this card does have triple drive itself to begin with, to stop those plays, but also be able to keep your discard costs down thanks to this PG as well, if you have 1 or less cards in hand. And then for the trigger lineup, we're going for the 8 critical pressure, just because once again you're dealing with a very weakened Vanguard by your opponent, depending on if you're on the grade 3 or the grade 4, so 4 copies of Stem Deviate Dragon and 4 copies of Lively Breath Dragon. With our next trigger being the draw. This could honestly be a front trigger spot. It's just player preference at that point for which one you may want to run in this position. You do have the additional 5k shield with either one that you run, but you do have just more hand consistency with this card since you do invest a lot for the soul buildup. And then 2 copies of the Diablos Girls Ariana and 2 copies of Yufa for the heal trigger spots, having the additional 5k shield for multiple attack units, and then just the initial generic shield of Ariana, with our over trigger being the Vamfreeze, which is the same as the Gamalgaheld for the additional +10 power and critical. If you reveal it the early on, the better as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, big thanks to my buddy Jim for letting me borrow the deck for the video. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.